Gotham episode 14, The Fearsome Dr. Crane. This was a really good episode that gave us yet another introduction to one of the famous Bat villains as a young adult. In this case, he was a teenager, so he's a bit older than pretty much everyone else that's been in the show so far. And I enjoyed this episode. It didn't focus too much on Scarecrow or anything like that, which was really surprising considering the title of the episode. But he's going to have a much bigger focus in next week's episode, so I'm very excited for that. And getting to see, like, Crane Sr. kind of turning Jonathan Crane, his son, into the Scarecrow. And we even get to see, like, the initial fear toxin in the preview, so I'm very excited for next week's episode. But this one had some really great moments, especially the crazy ending with Mooney's little boat just getting attacked by pirates. It was just like really crazy stuff. And I love the episode. It gave us some really cool little moments that are definitely going to explode into some really huge things. The stuff with Penguin is going to be really big when he finally gets back to Falcone. The stuff with Mooney, I have no idea what to expect for that, because honestly it was like, okay, she's going to leave. It's going to kind of parallel what happened with Penguin in the first couple of episodes. He'll get cast out, in a sense, kind of, going for survival. And then it'll come back into things. It's going to be, in her case, it won't work out so well because, we know Penguin's going to become the Penguin. And for Mooney, she's probably going to get killed off at some point in the series. But I didn't expect her trip to just be like, I'm on the boat, and then here come some pirates, and she just, charges at this guy, and he just charges at her. So it was a crazy little ending for the episode. But I enjoyed it. It was really cool. It made me incredibly excited to see what was going to happen with her character, because I thought, really, okay, they're giving us a couple of little updates just so we know exactly what's going on. We know she's not just on the road somewhere. She's on a boat. She's traveling away from Gotham. Simple enough. Just little updates. This is where she's traveling. Or not exactly where, but, this is how she's traveling. It's how she's getting to wherever it is she's going to go. And then she gets attacked by pirates at the end of the episode. So I'm excited for that. The stuff with Penguin was definitely cool. I was really excited for that based on its preview for this episode. And, man, he just barely made it out of that one. I was very curious to see how that was going to work. And it didn't happen the way I thought. I figured something was going to happen. He'd get saved by Falcone in, like, the last minute or whatever. And that's not what it was. He was able to save himself. He was, in a sense, saved by Falcone because he used Falcone's name. But it was cool. He saved himself. Maroni chased after the trash compactor guy. And then he comes back and it's like, Penguin's gone. He doesn't get revenge on the guy that basically played him the whole time. And now, Falcone's right hand is basically running straight to Falcone. So he's really going to be screwed when Falcone retaliates. So, of course, I'm excited for that. All of that stuff was really good because I didn't know how it was going to play out. I knew Penguin wasn't going to kill Maroni because I figured, like, that's always the thing. It's always, like, blanks or the gun's just empty. Or in some really weird cases, like, people do something to the gun and it, like, the top of the gun shoots backwards. I remember that from an old movie, like, a long time ago, like Antonio Banderas. I don't know why that popped into my head, but that's just what I remember. And I wasn't surprised at all. It's like he took the gun. The first thing I thought was like, this is television. You just got to check every gun. Like if you pick up a gun, just look, just make sure. I was thinking like he should check if there are even bullets in it, honestly, because that I feel like that's what happens more often than not. It's, like people don't even waste time with blanks. It's just like, I'm just not going to put bullets in this. And then, you'll show your true colors and I'm going to have to, beat you up. But I enjoyed that whole scene, like them doing the little secrets and stuff. And we, of course, knew how it was going to escalate. But I enjoyed all of that. I thought it was pretty cool. It was nice seeing Bruce in this episode and him kind of deciding, like, things aren't going the way I thought they would. You made a promise to me. I'm, releasing you from that promise. I thought that was pretty cool. And him having this little journey in the next episode, I'm also very excited for. I know it's one of the couple of moments that's going to have him, kind of do like the Batman thing where it's like, this is the guy who's going to be Batman. So I'm okay with that, especially because we haven't actually seen one of those moments in a while. They used to do it, I think in the first couple of episodes, they did it a lot where it was like, here's this random news thing and it's like, Gotham needs heroes and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, look who's watching TV, it's Bruce. So I'm okay with them doing that, and of course I feel like they should do that in the show. I mean, it's him going through these different things, and the main, catalyst for all of these little moments is the death of his parents. So I think it works perfectly because that's pretty much what it is in the initial storyline anyway. So I'm excited to see this because we haven't seen anything like that in a while, and I don't think we've really had an episode like this, where he really does go and train by himself, or trains at all really, aside from the one episode with Selena. And I think that wasn't really as much of the episode as I thought it was going to be. So I'm definitely excited to see him go off on his own and do this little adventure. I don't know where it's going to lead to, but I'm excited to see it for sure. And it was cool to see him in this episode and see him take another step to say, like, I have to kind of do this on my own, because I don't believe that she, would really lie about that, because she doesn't scare easily. And of course he's young, so it's that sort of case where it's like he believes he knows her because he's spent so much time with her. And he kind of has a valid reason for thinking that, because he spent way more time with her than Jim has. But Jim, being an adult and also being a cop, he can kind of sense certain things. Like, despite how she may act most of the time, you get a gun pulled on you, or like super assassins coming after you, it can freak you out. It can make you draw back from, something that's admittedly a minor lead to begin with, because it's not like she really saw that much. So it was a cool little balance. Like, they both have valid reasons. Obviously, admittedly Jim is right, but you can understand where Bruce is coming from. Having spent so much time with her, he does believe, he knows that Selena is telling the truth. So I enjoyed that. The main villain, Crane himself, the Crane Senior, I guess, I like that. I thought it was interesting, showing the fears and stuff like that, and I just thought it was pretty cool how the character worked off of fears, and then it kind of, in the next episode, is going to lead to the actual fear toxin, which is why he was taking the adrenal glands. And it's just really cool. It's like a nice little, like, weird science way to do it. Like, this is how he got the fear toxin. It was basically, it's the fear gland, as the doctor put it. So he takes these glands from his victims, and then we have the alpha fear toxin, basically. So I'm excited to see that play out. I like this character. I thought he was pretty interesting. When he mentioned he had a son, honestly, I thought he was just lying. I thought they were just making, honestly, I thought they were just making Scarecrow older, because, they've done that with some characters, like the Electrocutioner. He fights Batman as an adult, but they made him like an older guy in the show, so I figured they're going to kind of have Scarecrow in this, and he'll be, a villain that kind of comes in a little bit. But they actually had it where he's like, Crane Senior, and then Jonathan Crane actually will become the Scarecrow. So I thought that was really cool, because, it's the Scarecrow, so it'll be interesting. And it also gives us, just another episode and another depth to what they can do with the next episode, where he uses it on his own son. And I think that's pretty cool, because if it was just him by himself, then it would just be him as Scarecrow kind of doing his thing. And then even if he used the fear toxin in the next episode, it wouldn't have the same impact, I don't think, on viewers compared to, like, yeah, he used it on the city or, a couple of people. But him using it on his own son just makes him like a worse character, but admittedly more entertaining to watch. So I'm glad they did it that way. I'm excited to see how that plays out. The stuff with Nigma, I really loved in this episode. I think he's hit his peak so far in the series of being really, really crazy. And him getting suspended, I thought was interesting. Like, this is going to be the breaking point. And I think it kind of was, because he took a bunch of body parts and he put them in the doctor's locker. And I thought he was going to take over as the medical examiner, but they're probably going to do it where it's the doctor. I wish I could think of her name right now, but she's most likely going to take over. But Nigma will, because he's actually good. Like, he's so good, even Jim was like, I'm going to have Nigma look at the guy, because, the other guy was clearly so stupid. He just said, like, yeah, the victim stabbed himself in the back of his head, just perfectly with so much force. So I think that's how they're going to do it, where she takes over as the medical examiner. He'll be like this, I guess, junior or assistant ME. I don't really know any titles in any sort of medical profession, but I hope that's how they do it, because I like him when he does that, because he's really silly. Like, when he got busted was one of my favorite scenes this episode. It's just like, oh dear, and then he like smacks himself on the head, and there's just like a little bit of blood off the fingertips running down. it was just really silly. And him getting closer, like a little bit closer, to the woman who does the filing. I can't think of her name either, even though he says it all the time because he's neurotic about it. Them kind of getting a tiny bit closer. She's making like the little joke, like, you owe me another pencil and stuff. I enjoy that. Like, I mentioned this before. Her getting really close to him and then probably breaking his heart, I think that's going to be like the official reason for him snapping in this series. But we're going to have to wait and see that. But I think this was a cool step for his character. I think it was a nice little, real crazy moment. Like, he took body parts to get this guy fired and just dumped him in the locker. Which means he would have to chop up all those body parts or take them. I don't know how many dead bodies get just chopped up like that. So he kind of had to do it himself and put them all in this locker to get this guy busted. And it was just interesting. It's a nice little extra step for his character going to the crazy level of the Riddler. So it was really nice to see that. Bullock being very attracted to this woman was like instantaneous for him. I thought that was pretty interesting for his character, and he's trying to like correct himself and be a little bit different than who he normally is because he wants to be with this woman. And I like her character. I thought she was really cool, especially in the very beginning when I can't remember exactly what he was about to say, but he was about to make fun of the guy, or basically make fun of everyone, and she's like, you know, don't be an ass. I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's really cool of her to just be like, don't make fun of people, don't be an ass. I thought that was just a really cool scene. So that, like, as soon as she said that, I was like, I like her character. So hopefully she is in it for a little bit longer, you know, maybe permanently. I highly doubt that. You know, if she comes back in or whatever, then that would be fine too. But I love the episode. I can't wait to see what they do with, you know, the alpha fear toxin basically, and who gets infected with it, and, you know, what happens with Penguin when he reaches Falcone. And of course, just that insane ending with Mooney just charging a pirate. Like, that's a really crazy ending, and it's something that definitely leaves me wanting more. So I really enjoyed this episode, but of course I want to know what you guys thought. So please comment below, let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and I want to know, what do you guys think is going to happen with Mooney, because she's had like a really crazy journey, and every time, at least every time I personally thought it was going to end, it just kept going. Like, I figured they'd keep her in the show for a bit because, you know, of course it's only the first season. Also, it's Jada Pinkett Smith. She's like a fairly well-known actress, so it's like you aren't going to get someone as popular and just as experienced as her and then, you know, just kill her off so early. This isn't The Walking Dead, so, you know, I don't expect people to just die for no reason. So, you know, I don't really know what to think of her character and what's going to happen with her. I know it's going to be insane, obviously, with just pirates, especially where they are, because it's Gotham City, which everyone knows, whether it's filmed in New York or not, it's New York. It's the New York of the DC universe. There aren't just going to be pirates just like strolling into the country like, oh, let's get this boat right here. So I have no idea what to think about that. And if it is pirates, then they would really have to do a lot to explain how that even happened. But I'm definitely excited for it. But like I said, I want to know what you guys thought. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.